Let me ask you something. Why does the idea of Santa's list work so well? Think about it. No police, no visible punishment, no real enforcement, and yet millions of children behave differently for the entire month. They monitor themselves, they correct themselves, they feel guilt even when nobody is watching. And by the end of this episode, you'll understand why Santa's list might be one of the most effective psychological control systems ever created, and why you're still living under a version of it today. Because Santa's list isn't about Christmas. It's about observation, external validation, and the quiet danger of living your life as though someone is always watching. On the surface, Santa's list is simple. You're either naughty or nice, and someone else decides which one you are. But psychologically, it's far more sophisticated. Santa's list introduces 3 ideas very early in life. You are being observed, your worth is conditional, and your reward is delayed. What matters here isn't Santa, it's the feeling of being watched. Once that feeling exists, behaviour changes, even if the observer is imaginary. This idea has a name. Jeremy Bentham called it the panopticon, and we've discussed this prior, which was a circular prison where inmates never knew if and when they were being watched. And actually, the inmates could all kind of see each other. It was a circular prison. The genius wasn't constant surveillance, it was the uncertainty. If you might be observed, you behave as if you are. Santa's list works the same way. You never see Santa, you never meet him. You never get real-time feedback in those situations, but you behave anyway, because the observer has moved inside you. This is how children learn self-policing, adults learn over-compliance, societies maintain order without force. Santa isn't the authority, he's the prototype. And here's the paradox of Santa's list. The more you try to be nice, the less authentic you become. Why? Because nice isn't a moral value, it's a response of being watched. In a panopticon, you don't act truthfully, you act safely. Nice becomes don't upset, don't challenge, don't stand out. And over time, being nice replaces honesty, courage and responsibility. You don't ask what's right, you ask what keeps me on the list. That question doesn't create adults, it creates performers. Santa's list teaches something subtle but dangerous. Someone else decides whether you're good or not. That's moral outsourcing. Your values aren't internal, they're externalized. Just like the panopticon. You don't see God, you just need belief. As adults, this becomes approval addiction, reputation management, image control. You're still being watched. You've just changed the tower. Santa's list combines 4 psychological levers. The first is uncertainty. You never fully know where you stand. Number 2 is delayed reward. Behave now, maybe benefit later. Binary judgment, good or bad, no nuance. And internal surveillance, the panopticon effect. Once internalized, no authority is required. You carry the tower with you. And as adults, this list evolves. Now it's KPIs, followers, status, reputation. The panopticon becomes digital. You create yourself, edit yourself, police yourself. You ask, how does this look? Will this be accepted? Not, is this true? And that's the cost. The opposite of Santa's list isn't rebellion, it's self-authorship. The opposite of the panopticon isn't chaos, it's integrity without witness. Real maturity begins when you act without needing to be seen. You choose values over approval. You stop living under an invisible gaze. That's freedom. Not being naughty, not being nice, being whole. Santa's list was never evil. It was a training mechanism. But mechanisms aren't identities. If you're still living your life as though someone's watching, you're still editing yourself, you're still waiting to be judged worthy. Think about whose tower you're standing in. Because once you see the panopticon, you can step out of it. So, should we be moral because we are being judged and we're trying to conform to benefit and get something in the future? Or shall we have the internal moral compass without that needing to be the case? This is the paradox of Santa's list.